This mound is taller than a house. This nest has air conditioning. This dam changed an entire river. This bird builds to impress a mate. None of these have blueprints. No tools, no training. Just instinct built over millions of years. Number 10 builds underwater cities. Number 5 builds with perfect geometry. And number 1 builds something humans still can't replicate. If nature's engineering amazes you, subscribe now. Let's start the countdown. Number 10, compass termites build mounds that can rise over 3 meters tall. But the shape isn't random at all. Every single mound is built pointing north to south, with almost perfect accuracy. This orientation keeps the mound's flat sides facing the rising and setting sun. That design keeps the internal temperature remarkably stable all day long. Termites inside can't survive temperature swings of even a few degrees. So an entire colony's survival depends on getting this exact orientation right. Nobody has fully explained how blind insects consistently achieve this precision. Some researchers believe they sense Earth's magnetic field directly through their bodies. Farmers in Australia have used these mounds as natural compasses for generations. A blind insect colony solved a navigation problem human engineers still study closely. Number 9. Beavers are the only animal capable of physically reshaping entire landscapes. A single dam can stretch for hundreds of meters across a river. The largest one ever recorded is visible from space using satellite imagery. It sits in northern Canada and stretches over 800 meters long. Beavers build these structures purely by instinct, reacting to the sound of running water. If you play a recording of flowing water, beavers will actually try to dam the speaker. This behavior has been confirmed repeatedly in controlled wildlife research experiments. The resulting wetlands created by beaver dams support entire ecosystems of other species. Ecologists now consider beavers one of the most important species for wetland restoration. One rodent's instinct to hide from predators reshapes rivers on a scale humans rarely attempt. Number 8. The male bowerbird builds elaborate structures that have absolutely nothing to do with nesting. These structures, called bowers, exist purely to impress a potential female mate. Some species build a twig archway, then decorate it with objects sorted precisely by color. One specific species collects only blue-colored objects, from flowers to bottle caps. Researchers have documented bowers decorated with hundreds of carefully sorted individual items. Even more strangely, some species create a visual illusion using forced perspective. They arrange objects from large to small, making the structure appear more impressive from one angle. Scientists studying this were genuinely surprised, since forced perspective is a technique used in human architecture. A bird with a brain the size of a walnut is applying an actual architectural design principle. If the female isn't impressed, the male simply tears it down and rebuilds it from scratch. We're 3 builders in, and everything from here gets significantly more impressive. If you're already hooked, go ahead and subscribe right now. Number 7. Weaver birds build hanging nests using nothing but a single beak and grass fibers. The finished nest looks remarkably similar to a hand-woven basket. Male weaver birds practice this skill for months before becoming genuinely proficient. Females inspect the finished nest closely and will reject a poorly made one immediately. If rejected, the male simply tears the entire nest apart and starts over completely. This means quality control in nest building is directly tied to reproductive success. Some nests include a specifically woven false entrance to confuse potential predators. The bird weaves this decoy entirely from memory, with no visual reference to guide it. An animal with no hands, no tools, and no training weaves a structure engineers admire. Number 6. Honeybees build honeycombs using perfect hexagons, without any measuring tools whatsoever. Mathematicians have proven the hexagon is the most efficient shape for storing the most honey. This uses the least amount of wax while using the most available space possible. Bees don't actually plan this shape directly, it emerges from a genuinely clever process. Bees initially build round wax cells, which naturally soften and pull into hexagons over time. Body heat from the hive softens the wax just enough for surface tension to reshape it. This means the perfect hexagon shape is a byproduct of simple physics, not conscious design. A single hive can contain over 100,000 precisely shaped cells built this way. Human architects still study this exact structure when designing lightweight, material-efficient buildings today. Number 5. Male pufferfish create massive, intricate circular patterns on the ocean floor entirely alone. The finished pattern can span up to 2 meters across, roughly 20 times the fish's own size. This structure was completely unknown to science until it was accidentally filmed by divers in 1995. Researchers initially had no idea what was creating these mysterious patterns, sometimes called underwater crop circles. It took years of underwater observation before scientists finally identified the tiny pufferfish responsible. The male spends up to 9 days continuously carving these precise ridges using only his fins. The precise ridges actually help reduce ocean currents at the very center of the circle. This calmer water protects fragile eggs that a female will later lay in that exact center spot. A fish smaller than your hand engineers the structure specifically to control local water physics. Number 4. Cathedral termites in Australia build mounds that function like fully automated climate systems. The internal temperature stays within about 1 degree of ideal, no matter the outside conditions. This happens through a complex internal network of tunnels functioning as passive ventilation shafts. Warm air rises naturally through the structure, drawing cooler air upward from underground chambers below. This exact concept later inspired the design of a real, energy-efficient building in Zimbabwe. That building, called Eastgate Center, uses roughly 90% less energy for climate control. Architects studying this project openly credit termite engineering for solving a genuinely difficult design problem. An insect colony without any central planning solved a climate engineering problem humans still struggle with. Number 3. Certain ant species build underground colonies that function like entire self-sustaining cities. One documented leafcutter ant colony contained tunnels extending over 8 meters below the surface. These colonies include specific chambers for farming fungus, chambers for waste disposal, and dedicated nurseries. Leafcutter ants actually cultivate a specific fungus as their primary food source, essentially farming underground. Waste chambers are positioned deliberately far from nurseries and food storage to prevent disease spread. Researchers using excavation and imaging technology have mapped colonies with millions of individual ants inside. No single ant understands the entire structure, yet the colony functions with remarkable overall efficiency. This is called emergent behavior, where complex organization arises from simple individual actions repeated at scale. Engineers studying swarm intelligence use ant colonies directly as models for efficient logistics systems today. Number 2. Orb weaver spiders build a web that is mathematically one of nature's most efficient structures. The spiral pattern uses the least amount of silk possible while maximizing the area it can cover. The spider builds this entire structure from memory, without any visual reference to guide the pattern. Silk produced by these spiders is genuinely stronger than steel of the same exact thickness. Researchers have spent decades trying to replicate this exact material artificially, with limited overall success. If humans scale, this silk strength-to-weight ratio would rival the strongest engineered materials ever created. Military and medical researchers are actively studying spider silk for body armor and surgical applications. A creature with no factory, no machinery, and no formal training produces the strongest fiber known to science. And now, number 1, scientists discovered a termite structure so massive it changed how they understood animal engineering entirely. In northeastern Brazil, researchers identified approximately 200 million individual termite mounds spread across one region. This entire network covers an area roughly the size of the entire country of Great Britain. Some of these individual mounds are estimated to be nearly 4,000 years old. That makes the structure older than the pyramids of Egypt and nearly as old as Stonehenge. This entire network wasn't even discovered by science until satellite imagery revealed it in 2018. For nearly 4,000 years, this construction project was completely invisible to the outside world. Researchers calculated the total soil excavated is comparable to nearly 4,000 Great Pyramids of Giza. One insect species, working without any central plan, built one of the largest structures ever created by any living thing. 10 builders, a termite that aligns its home using Earth's magnetic field. A beaver whose dam is visible from space, and a bird using forced perspective to impress a mate. A weaver bird crafting false entrances, and bees solving a math problem through pure physics. A pufferfish carving circles nobody understood for years, and termites inspiring real human architecture. An underground ant city with millions of residents, and a spider producing silk stronger than steel. And a termite network older than the pyramids, invisible until satellites finally found it. None of these animals have blueprints, tools, or formal training of any kind. Yet their structures solve problems that took human engineers centuries to even fully understand. If this genuinely changed how you look at nature, subscribe now for more like it every week. Comment below which one of these 10 builders impressed you the absolute most. See you next week, and next time you see an anthill, remember what it might actually be.